Hello, YouTube world. This is going to be a really quick video on just how out of control the lies are now getting and how brazen and how really just obscenely ridiculous the lies are getting considering the C virus right now. And of course, we're being told that it's surging like crazy and the media is trying to ensue panic and really I think just about every state has gone now to these mandatory face masks. Texas is even now suggesting that you should wear a face mask in your home, and I'm going to get more into that in another video. And California, LA is now talking about going into another full lockdown. So let me start by just playing a really quick video, and this is from right around a week ago. And this clip was from CNN, the start of it.
According to Johns Hopkins University, the U.S. is doing a far worse job of controlling this pandemic than the European Union is doing, basically similar size, if you will. Look at that graph.
And this was a CNN. This clip was from a show on Fox, but they were showing a clip from CNN, and we'll hear this fear mongering once again.
Doing a far worse job of controlling this pandemic than the European Union is doing, basically similar size, if you will. Look at that graph. Hopkins University, the U.S. According to Johns Hopkins University.
So according to Johns Hopkins University, which, by the way, they're heavily funded by Bill Gates and folks like that.
The U.S. is doing a far worse job of controlling this pandemic than the European Union is doing, basically similar size, if you will. Look at that graph.
And I believe, recognizing that voice, that's Chuck Todd speaking. He says the U.S. is doing a far worse job at controlling the virus than the European Union. Just look at that graph. And if you're not scared now, feel free to crap your pants. Those viewers at home, please do crap your pants in fear. So this comes from Johns Hopkins University and the Washington Post, the Washington Compost, and those are two just incredibly reputable sources, right? And so notice this number here, the U.S., 24K, 2 plus 4, that's a 6 number. And, then they show this graphic of the death numbers, and I want to go to a better photo of that. And So this displays the actual death numbers, and you'll notice that the media, they never, ever, ever, ever want to talk about the death numbers. They always talk about the new cases so they can fearmonger. And, they're doing so much testing, there's so much more testing done in the United States than any other country. Of course, you're going to have a higher number of cases when you do vastly more testing. And I'm going to show in this next video how they're lying about the testing numbers. They're lying with false positives, it would appear. So, this chart shows the death numbers per 100,000. If you've got the U.S., 38 deaths per 100,000 people. And then if you look at this graph, a vastly smaller country, Belgium, has 85 deaths per 100,000 people. The U.S. has fewer deaths per 100,000 than Belgium, the United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, Sweden, France, all these countries. And the U.S. is basically on par with Ireland, which is a very small country. And that's even assuming that these death numbers are even accurate. And we know, according to Dr. Scott Jensen and many others in the medical community, that they've been lying about and drastically padding the death numbers. And so I want to play another video. This was from yesterday concerning the C virus testing that we've been seeing in this, supposed spike and surge in Florida.
The virus outbreak appears to be getting worse in Florida, although these may be issues with how state laboratories are reporting new cases. Did you hear about this? WOFL's Robert Gutierrez has the story in our Orlando affiliate. Robert, what did you discover about how they're counting the coronavirus tests?
Yeah, there seems to be confusion, Brian, on so many levels here with the coronavirus numbers. Now, we were tipped off that the numbers didn't quite look right on the state's daily case report. And looking at the breakdown of test labs, I quickly noticed astronomical positivity rates. Now, mind you, Florida's COVID-19 positivity rates currently at just under 11%, but dozens of labs reported as having 100% positivity.
Let's hear that again, what he said. Dozens of labs report having 100% positivity.
At just under 11%, but dozens of labs reported as having 100% positivity.
So dozens of these labs in Florida are reporting 100% positivity.
Some only reporting positive cases. The negative column, absolutely blank. So I asked myself, how could 100% of...
And here we see this graphic from Orlando. The positivity rate is 9.4%, not the 98% that it had previously reported. So they're only off by over 88%. You know, that's a reasonable margin of error, right?
People getting tested at these locations be testing positive. So I reached out to several of our major hospitals in the area, Orlando Health and the Orlando VA, confirming errors in their numbers in that report. So after several requests for comment, today the Florida Department of Health
Here, Orlando's Veterans Medical Center positivity rate is 6%. Well, there you go. There's that 6 once again staring at you, not the 76% previously reported. So the Veterans Medical Center was only off by 70%.
Confirming that some small private labs have failed to report negative results.
Let's play that again. So some small private labs have failed to report negative results, negative labs. They're only reporting the positives.
The Florida Department of Health confirming that some small private labs have failed to report negative results, some reporting 0 negative results. So the department says it is working to obtain those results and to update the statewide report to fix those inaccuracies, but these labs are required by the state to report all test results, positive and negative. A spokesperson, here's something else that kind of adds to the confusion, a spokesperson for Lee Memorial Hospital, that's out of the Fort Myers area, tells me that they believe there is a problem with the state's data gathering system because it is their knowledge, their understanding that the negative results from their hospital were submitted to the state. So, Brian.
Well, isn't that interesting? Apparently there's a problem with the state's collection service. This hospital in Fort Myers saying that they had submitted the negative results. And I'm familiar with the Fort Myers area as I've got some family that lives down there. Let's hear that one more time.
Those inaccuracies, but these labs are required by the state to report all test results, positive and negative. A spokesperson, here's something else that kind of adds to the confusion, a spokesperson for Lee Memorial Hospital, that's out of the Fort Myers area, tells me that they believe there is a problem with the state's data gathering system.
So someone from Lee Memorial Hospital, believe it or not, I'm actually familiar with that hospital, Lee Memorial Hospital, as I've got some family in Fort Myers, saying there's a problem with the state's data collection system.
Of the Fort Myers area tells me that they believe there is a problem with the state's data gathering system.
So someone from the hospital saying there's a problem with the state's data gathering system.
Because it is their knowledge, their understanding that the negative results from their hospital were submitted to the state. So, Brian.
And from Lee Memorial Hospital, they're saying they are submitting these negative results to the state, and they're not being accounted for, that there's a problem with the state's data collection system. Isn't that interesting? They're not reporting the negatives, and it's being it's being falsified at the state level, and they're not getting the data correct from the hospitals.
More questions to be answered, but this news all coming as so many Floridians already are doubting the numbers being reported by the state.
Because your death toll is so low, thankfully. When someone says 98% positive, I meant 9.4%. I want every Fox affiliate at least to do exactly what you did and pour over these numbers and make people back them up. And Robert, I'm going to get your name right now, unlike how I introduced you. Robert Guadarrama. How did I do?
Guadarrama. There you go.
Close? All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, and I know this is Fox News, and we've got to be careful, and I can't definitively say this is 100% accurate, but, you know, this was from a local affiliate, this Robert Guadarrama from down in Florida, which is just a little local Fox News affiliate. And, you know, I don't see any reason why they would want to lie about the data being falsified. I don't see, you know, the media and the government want us to believe the numbers. They want us to believe that these tests are accurate and that they're telling us the truth about all these positive tests in this surge. So it's difficult for me to see any reason why they would want to lie to us and have us believe that they're lying to us about the test numbers, that they're lying about too many false positives and not reporting the negatives. That doesn't make sense to me. So it would seem there's probably some validity to this report, you know, because anyhow, this is exactly what most of us suspect anyway, is that they're completely lying about these numbers, falsifying them, padding the numbers, cooking the books, that they're reporting way more positives and way fewer negatives than there are in reality. And if this Robert Guadarrama, you know, if him and this local affiliate was responsible, I give you credit for actually doing your job and reporting the truth. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it looks like this may be a valid report. And, you know, like I've covered before, Fox News, you're going to get a lot of lies on there, but occasionally you do get a little bit of truth here and there. So next I want to look at, in California now, some of these articles, they're saying 8,000 prisoners to be released by the end of August, California Department of Corrections says, and also California to release 8,000 prisoners amid coronavirus crisis. So, you know, this is pretty incredible. Let me just click on this article. So the headline, 18,000 prisoners to be released by the end of August, California Department of Corrections says. There's that number 18 again, which is a 666 number. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. Just like I mentioned in the last video with the Kelly Preston death, the death of Lisa Marie Presley, the supposed suicide of Lisa Marie Presley's son, the 18 we keep seeing. We see it all the time. Keep your eyes open for the 18, the number 6, and the number 33. And this other headline, California to release 8,000 prisoners in hopes of easing coronavirus. And of course, this is going to make things drastically worse because, you know, some of these prisoners are probably inevitably infected. You know, I tend to think that there probably is really some kind of medical issue, some kind of virus or whatever issue that is making some people sick.
When was the last time you really looked out the window? What do you see?
Enough, you know, I've spoken to some doctors that I respect, and they really swear by it that this virus is a real thing. So anyhow, if you let all those prisoners out, some of them would probably be infected with the supposed virus. And of course, beyond that, it's going to cause a massive increase in crime, just letting, you know, thousands and thousands of criminals out loose on the streets. So here's the insanity of all this is, while California is letting out all these thousands of prisoners,
When was the last time you really looked out the window? What do
let me
you see?
mute this
The
ad
awakening of the
here.
rising sun, or light dancing across the mountaintops? Look for a moment longer than you.
So, on the one hand, California is releasing thousands and thousands and thousands of these inmates and prisoners, these criminals out into the streets. And on the other hand now, they're saying that they're probably going to need another full lockdown in California very soon. So on the one hand, we're letting out 8,000, 18,000 prisoners out onto the streets to supposedly help prevent the spread of the coronavirus, which is insanity. And at the same time now, they're saying they're probably going to need another full lockdown in California. So here's this little news clip from LA. By the way, notice the woman on the left-hand side here in the purple for the Royal Elite Bloodlines and New World Order.
On the way if things get worse.
Let's get straight to Eyewitness News reporter Rachel Brown live in Runyon Canyon with the very latest. Rachel, new
those essential offices, hair, Cal, as coronavirus cases, indoor malls.
At Orange, we are on the border of going
to get those essential goods.
And here we
So while the city of Los Angeles'
So here we have Garcetti speaking now.
COVID-19 threat level remains at orange, we are on the border of going to red. It is up to all of us to make sure that we don't.
As
back in our recovery journey is.
And this lady is, I believe, the medical director for LA County, Dr. Barbara Fair. Wow, is she evil. This woman is just an absolute witch. So, of course, we have the guilt tripping that, you're going to have to really be diligent and be better with the mask and social distancing and so forth, but keep from going to another lockdown. And let me just click on this other article now from Los Angeles Magazine. Mayor Garcetti warns that another stay-at-home order could be instituted. In Orange County, where people really hate wearing masks, the rate of new cases has doubled week over week. And here in LA, Mayor Eric Garcetti is warning the locals could once again be ordered to stay at home if the county's infection rate doesn't get under control. In his Wednesday evening briefing, Garcetti revisited the city's new color-coded warning system. So now this is like the terrorist deal where they've got the color-coded warning system. Do you remember that? We haven't heard about it in a while, but after 9/11, they used to have that whole BS color-coded system of the risk of a terrorist threat. So now this virus deal, we now have a color-coded system of risk level for the virus, and if it reaches a certain level, you got to lock down, and you have no right to do anything. So Garcetti revisited the city's new color-coded warning system. The city is currently at threat level orange. And wouldn't it be interesting to know what this entails, what determines what the color of the threat level is? I'm sure there's some really accurate medical data that goes into this. This is just a joke as to what determines what color the threat level is. So the city is currently at threat level orange, which means risk is high and residents should minimize all contact with people outside of their own households. If the city makes it to threat level red, aka extreme risk, stay-at-home orders could be reinstated. If things get worse, that dial could move to red in this coming week or two, Garcetti said. That would place us at the highest risk of infection, and we likely return to a mandated safer at home order. But if things get better, we'll see that dial back down to yellow, indicating we're successfully flattening the curve. And there's that terminology. Don't you just love it? The flattening the curve, just like the stay home, save lives. We're all in this together. All these cutesy little terms they use. So, what do you think? You think they're going to dial it back, or that they're headed to another lockdown out there in LA? My guess would be they're going to be having another full lockdown in LA really soon, and probably eventually all over this country. So I just want to end with a few scriptures related to this. And, these lies have become so brazen and overwhelming. It's just totally ridiculous. And it really is beyond me how anyone could believe any of this stuff at this point. But it speaks to just how incredibly strong the brainwashing is, and how incredibly naive and lost so many people in this country are to believe all these just lies that are just blatantly obvious lies. So Proverbs 12:22, lying lips are abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. John 8:44, this is Jesus Christ speaking. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And these people in the media and government that are speaking lie after lie after lie after lie, every word out of their mouth is a lie, they are the children of the devil. A lot of them are the children of Cain, the serpent seed line. Who knows? Some of these people may literally be kind of remnants of the Nephilim bloodline from Genesis 6, the mingling of the fallen angels and human women. But we know this, that they are liars and the children of the devil, and they're doing the will of Satan. Revelation 21:8, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars, that's the key part, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So, all these folks in the media and the government, obviously, they are not fooling God, and they have theirs coming. God knows everything they're up to, and in their pride and their arrogance, they somehow think they're going to get this past God and rule with Satan on the earth, or be reincarnated and rule on the earth in the future, or whatever it is. These people believe a lot of they're deceived themselves. They deceive, and they themselves are deceived. And I'll probably show you that scripture another time. In fact, maybe let's just look that up real quick. There we go. 2 Timothy 3:13. And that's what we see right now. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. And that's what's going on. These people are deceiving, and they themselves are deceived. They're incredibly deceived themselves because they don't know what they have coming in God's judgment. So, right now it's just really a time to seek the truth and to seek God. And this is no time to be playing games and to be caught in naivety and ignorance and believing all these lies. So I just really pray that you'll seek Jesus Christ and the truth and put your trust in him. And I thank everybody for all the prayers, and please do keep praying for me. I feel a bit overwhelmed. I've just got so much information that I need to get at, and I've got a bunch of videos I'm going to work on and try to get at here real soon. So God bless everyone, and try to have a wonderful day.